government's never going to secure the border. They never have, and they never will. Right? This clearly is an invasion.
Sorry, guys, we had a little issue
I
there.
can tell you, I will never ask permission from the federal government to secure the Texas border. I'm going to use the United States Constitution. That's Article 1, Section 10, which clearly gives states the authority to defend themselves from an invasion. I'm going to engage all the Texas military or National Guard, 20,000 or more, and we're going to secure the whole river. And if anyone gets across, we're going to immediately take them back to the other side and send them back home. And most people don't realize we have 25 bridges, Tucker.
Sorry, guys.
I'm going to make sure we stop all inbound commercial traffic from Mexico. And this is strategic to make sure we put the economic pressure on Mexico so they secure their side of the river. I love Mexico, but let me tell you, they're being a very bad neighbor. We need to finish the wall. I don't care if you call it Trump wall or Texas wall. I'm going to build hundreds of miles of it. I'm going to spend billions of dollars doing it because we need to spend the money. That's a good trade. Texas taxpayers spend a lot more than that every year. And look, this could have been done 7 years ago or 7 days ago. The only chance, like I said, is with a courageous governor, and Lord knows we don't have one right now, and we need to get a new one. And I can tell you that I'm going to do in 30 days what no one's ever done in 30 years, and that is to secure the border.
It's not complicated. Countries around the world do it with no technology and tiny budgets. It just takes will. Unfortunately, we don't. I would at some point. I would love to get a straight answer from Greg Abbott, who I think seems like a good guy. He's no liberal or anything, but he hasn't done this, and he hasn't done it on purpose. And I think it's very odd.
Look at that. That's a good thing there. Look at that. There you go. Looks good. Oops. Gotta get those. Over there. And we're ready. There we go. All right. Thank you very much. That's a kind thing for you to say. Thank you, Birdman. Thank you. I think that's an A pluser. That would be 2. Let me highlight this. Absolutely. Look at that. Incredible. Let me get myself ready. And here we are. Thank you, Junior. Appreciate it very much. And if you can, like every minute now as we get closer, that would be it. Thank you very much. Young Christopher, all kidding aside, I am on pins and needles for this thing with Atlantis. As a matter of fact, it's crazy. I'm really excited. Why? Shouldn't I be? Really? Okay. Then again, thank you so much. You're good. We're getting somewhere now. We're having some protocol and spoken when spoken to. We're understanding, you've elevated yourself in the last couple days from being a board op to a producer. And I've got to tell you, there's some professionalism going on here tonight. Thank you. Thank you, young Chris. Oh, God, this is such a nice change of pace and change of heart from adversarial dude. I like it, and it's true form, and I hope it continues because you can be a moody one. This is so professional tonight, folks. Yeah. Wow, I really feel like I'm in a place that matters here now. Must have been a directive. Da-da, da-da. Very nice, Christopher. Look at this. Actually makes me feel nervous. This is actually very, very much of a penis. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, and welcome aboard with us here, as you do each and every single night on America's Happy Time or America's Favorite Cocktail. That's what I like to call it. Yes, sir. Football time, sports time, best time. Stuff to get away from all the crap and all the news that's out there. This is your place where you can sit back, listen to some sports, have a great time, right? Now, listen, the one thing that's different about our show is that we do sit around the bar with the rest of America. We sit around the bar and we talk about sports, but we also talk about things that are going on in each and every one of our lives. It's kind of called, I know many people have forgotten the art of communicating, but that to me is what a sports show or a talk show should be. Things that we all have something interested in, and there's an interest for all of us. The politics, sports, your health nowadays, your job, your disposable income, because that's really how the sports world survives, is what Americans do when it comes to their disposable income, right? There's politics everywhere. Let me throw this one at you, and we'll start the show off with this. And by the way, if you'd like to, like Birdman and other people do each and every single night, they come aboard my social media platforms, my Twitch channel, my YouTube channel. You can watch the show. We kind of do two shows at one time. We do I like to say a talk show, but sports talk show And then we also have the behind the scenes a little bit. So you guys are all behind the scenes. And so everybody coming aboard, they get to post something. And that's kind of how I like throw some of the content into the show is what you post. They're on my social media platforms. Let me start it out with the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. Oh boy. You know, you talk, let me think, Mayor de Blasio or Lori Lightfoot as the worst mayors in America? Let me think. I guess you could flip a coin. I guess you could, hey, Bill, way to go, man. Your education rate in the city of New York, all-time lows. Horrific. But this is, wait, I'm going somewhere sports-wise here. So Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, oh, by the way, the crime rate, and for whatever reason, on weekends in Chicago, it's a disaster. You got the police in Chicago that hate the mayor's office so bad, it reminds me of the police in New York that hate de Blasio. The police in New York hate de Blasio. Hate him with a passion. But that's not what's going to get Lori Lightfoot kicked out of office. You know what's going to get her kicked out of office? The fact that the Bears are going to leave Chicago. You know, we're not really doing much when it comes to all the killings and the shootings in Chicago on weekends. You've got Chicagoans going like this. Hey, man, we got to get a handle on this. But you know what you got now with Republicans and Democrats? You got people doing this. Hey, you know that crime rate that we have going on? Wait a minute. What did you just say? The Bears are doing what? They just bought a what today, or was announced today with Churchill Downs Corporation that they bought Arlington Heights? The Bears. The McCaskies and the Hallis family bought Arlington Heights. Yeah, Dan. Excuse me. It's in Arlington Heights, Arlington Park. Thank you, Trevor, on my social media platform. Right. Arlington Park. You're going to get wait a minute now. There was a dumbass mayor in San Diego by the name of Kevin Faulconer. And he thought, well, it was no big deal. You know, San Diegans are not going to pay for a new stadium for the Spanoses. Where's he today? Oh, yeah, he was one of those ghost candidates that was going to try to unseat Gavin Newsom. Nobody knows who he is anymore. The guy who lost the Chargers, congratulations to you. You're not going anywhere, dog. You're not going anywhere. And you think people in Chicago, you don't have to be a Democrat or Republican. You lose the Bears? Good luck. Good. What about that crime rate? Yeah, you know, we got to work on that. And, you know, can you see this? Look, this would be like a committee meeting. Excuse me, guys. You know, I'd like to, you know, have a, I'd like to have a comment here on the, you know, lack of police funding that we have in the city of Chicago. And, you know, we need more cops on the streets. The weekends are just, you're afraid to go out in Chicago or go to Rush Street or do whatever. Go to the museum, you know, go to Lakeshore. There's just not enough police. Oh yeah, we'll take your thoughts into consideration. You know, there's a referendum on the board to put more funds into the police. So we'll get to you. Excuse me, I'm John Smith, and I live over in Joliet, and I drive from Joliet to Soldier Field. And if you think I'm going to sit here and watch you lose the Bears to a place out in the sticks that's an hour away, you're out of your mind. You know what? This is going to be a priority, and it's going to go right to the top. That mayor's going to get Chicago a black guy with those Bears. Can you imagine if the Philadelphia Eagles moved out of the link in Philly and when they moved to Scranton? Holy cow. Hey, let's move the Eagles to Scranton. Or no, you move the Steelers out, and you're like this. Yeah, let's move the Steelers, you know. We'll move them over to York, Pennsylvania. Hey, man. So the Bears have bought this parcel, and now we're talking and threatening on leaving Soldier Field. Do you know that the Chicago Bears, Soldier Field wasn't built for the Bears? Wasn't built for the Bears. You know, the Bears didn't start playing there on a yearly basis until 1970. They were playing at Wrigley. They didn't play their entire existence from 1920 all the way. They only started playing there since 1970. And because it's called Soldier Field, it was built for Army, Navy, and Notre Dame and all them people, and boxing matches. Tunney versus Dempsey was fought there. I mean, this thing wasn't built. It was the University of Chicago played in that stadium. Very first Heisman Trophy winner played in that thing. That's why they called it Soldier Field, too. It was military-centric. Build it for the Bears. But the Bears and Soldier Field are a staple in that city. I promise you. Hey, Chicago Bulls, great. Way to go, Jordan. They built a statue out front of the United Arena. Good, congratulations. Blackhawks, great franchise. Cubs, legendary. That's a Bear town. No, nothing else matters. Kind of the Cubs. Okay, kind of the Cubs. I'll give you that. Kind of the Cubs. Wrigley is a staple too, just like Wrigley is. You know, funny to think of it. Those two buildings in the city of Chicago, I can't think of another city. Maybe the LA Coliseum and maybe Dodger Stadium when you start talking about legendary stadiums. But Dodger Stadium was built in 59. Okay? Yeah, but what's the football park in Boston? Chris just said Fenway. Okay, well, what's the football stadium in Boston? I can't think of one. I'm thinking of great legendary stadiums and great legendary ballparks in the same city. Okay? I mean, Chicago is probably the only huge city. San Francisco doesn't have one. Candlestick's gone. Camden Yards is a new retrofit stadium. So when you're talking about the grand old stadiums and places that you played baseball and football in, Chicago's it. Soldier Field and Wrigley Field. Those are iconic. You don't have that in Washington, D.C. Okay? Where you have a baseball park that was built like in 1900. I think Wrigley may have been built in 1890. And Chicago Stadium, I think it was built in 1918, something like that. I think it was built around the first Civil War, or excuse me, the First World War. So, I mean, and now you're going to try to move the Bears to Arlington. 1914, Soldier Field, cool. Wrigley, all right. Legendary. So Lori Lightfoot's going to lose the Bears. She came out with a statement today going, we're going to do everything in our power to keep. Yeah, the same statement that you hear in Oakland, that Oakland's going to try to keep the A's. No, they're not. They're lying to you. You actually think that a Democrat mayor is going to build a stadium for $1 billion Republican and $1 billion Republicans just because they're the Bears? You're high. They're just telling you that. They will never build a stadium in the city of Chicago for the Bears. They tried to retrofit and keep the facade up of Soldier Field. Bears want their own crib. They don't want to have to share any of the income. Who do you think these owners are in the NFL today? They're not sharing concessions and parking with you. You think they want to have a business relationship with you or anybody? They tell you they do, but they don't. These stadiums that are being built, do you know why? Do you know what they're doing right now in Arlington Heights? They're going to go out there and they're going to fleece taxpayers to build them a stadium in the suburbs there, and they're going to reap all the benefits and they're going to get nothing back in return. That's what billionaires do. I wish somebody would come and build me a home where I could get all the benefits from. And you know what? I don't know you anything after that. But they'll tell you, we're business partners. How do you think you become a billionaire? And the mayor knows that we're going to do everything in our power to keep. No, you're not. No, you're not. And they know that. That's why they bought the track. Bears are, hey, look at what the 49ers just did. They're in Santa Clara now. And Santa Clara, do you know how far away that is from San Francisco? It's like an hour and a half. It's like an hour and a half away. They don't even have the true 49er fans anymore. They're south of Raiders fan base. They're south of Oakland now, where they have that stadium. NFL's working past Lori Lightfoot and the city of Chicago. They know that city is not going to put up when it comes to the money and the money that's needed to keep the Bears in the city of Chicago. That's why they're moving. All right. There's a book that just came out by Seth Wickersham. It's Belichick versus Brady. Why are we still talking about this story? We'll hit on it next. I love Chicago, man. Trevor, I love Chicago. It's a great city. It's a spectacular city. Oh, you're gonna love it, man. This time of the year too. It's not too cold. It's great. I just look. My aunt lived in Chicago, and I went up there a bunch of times. Man, it was just a great city. My aunt worked in Chicago. I think my aunt worked at the Merchandise Mart or the McCormick Center. Ooh, you might want to go Hester because he needs votes for the Hall of Fame. And Urlacher's in. Those are good-looking jerseys too, dude. Yeah, I like those 05, 07 jerseys. I do. Dude, I think I threw all my jerseys away by accident. I hope I did it. Yeah, no. Like my jerseys that I wore. All my bowl jerseys. Citrus, Sugar, and Fiesta. No, you're doing your job tonight. Thank you. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I'll talk about Mike Tomlin in the next block, okay? New book coming out about Brady and Belichick. Jizzoo. I guess it's relevant because Brady's going to Boston this weekend, and he's going to Gillette for the final time probably as an NFL player, okay? I find it very hard to think that these two teams and he'll ever be in Boston ever again at that stadium. Okay? Highly doubtful. Brady's last chance to be in front of the Boston faithful and the Patriot faithful. So it is a story. And it's going to get bigger and it's going to create a lot more buzz as we get closer to that game. So there's a book that, of course, that dropped. Seth Wickersham, who, by the way, I have great respect for. He follows me on Twitter, too. He's a writer for ESPN, and he wrote this book. And whatever the title is, Trevor, maybe you know what it is. He's one of our guys on social media that's always there with us, and we appreciate him. And he's asking questions with us and helps us out here as we're on the air here. And it's about the relationship between Bill and Brady. Let me ask you something here. Who cares if it was a good relationship? Let me give you the context of the results. So they're writing about the method again. Okay, they're writing about the method. So I would ask you this. Did this so-called horrible relationship result in 9 AFC championships? Yeah. So basically, every other year that Tom Brady was in Boston playing for the Patriots, you mean to tell me they went to a conference championship game and he won it? Yeah. Wow, that must be a really horrible relationship. Holy cow. Wait a minute. And are you telling me in that time frame they won 6 Super Bowls? Wow, what a really awful relationship this must have been. Man, there's no way. We know what a sports miserable relationship looks like. It's wreaked in failure. How do you sit there and write a negative book about Bill Belichick and his relationship with Brady when you have those results that you could see? They're tangible. But because we are in a different era on writing negativity, those books sell and the clicks are high and the views are high. Who cares? You won 6 Super Bowls together, Belichick and Brady. You won 9 AFC championship games, all records. You both won more postseason games than any combination quarterback coach in the history of the league. Who gives an S if the relationship was a friendly one? Who cares? Again, people bitching about the method instead of the results. I don't know about you, but can I have that crappy ass relationship with 9 conference title rings and 6 world championship rings? Please, can I have a miserable relationship like that? Every NFL guy on the planet would crave for a horrible relationship like that. My God almighty. Anyway, hey guys, do me a favor. Big Sil's here for all the Hooters there in the Valley. This goes out to our great friends in Phoenix. Do me a favor. This week, this is your place for Arizona State. How about those Cardinals, man? 3-0 on the season so far. Kyler Murray's playing great ball. Great beer specials, $3 Michelob Ultra Drafts, all the great food specials. Hey, if you're fantasy football, this is your one-stop place as well. UFC Fight Night, they have it there for you at any of the local Hooters there in Phoenix. And do me a favor, tell them that Big Sil sent you. By the way, Mike Tomlin, he told everybody to chill out. I'll explain next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. I'm really liking this tonight. This is great. I would say this to you, Stephen, that it's either going to be the A's or the Rays. They may move both and then one into the National League. Because they're also talking about putting a team in Montreal again. So you put two teams in Vegas and one team in Montreal. They want to put another team back in Montreal again. But why? It was such a failure. The organization wasn't. It produced a lot of great superstars, the Montreal Expos. So, Stephen, yeah, I mean, I can't yet. I don't want to jinx it. Can't jinx it. Big money. I like that little take there too, Stephen. I'm going to drop that in there. No. I love a parade. Great night tonight. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, and also on our social media platforms, our YouTube and Twitch channel. If you're there with us right now, we appreciate it. By the way, don't forget to go over to dansileoshow.com. We got some amazing things that are happening here with the show, and I would love for you guys to go over to our newsletter and sign up. So thank you so much for doing that and listening to us. You can go over to our Twitter page as well, at Dan Sileo Show. You know, one of my friends here on my YouTube channel here, Steven, said this: the A's are going to, pardon the pun, but I bet they're on their way to Vegas. Of course they are. You actually think that a city in the state of California is going to build a facility for a sports team? That ain't happening ever again. Ever again. Never happened. Californians are already taxed out the wazoo. I mean, gas taxes, food taxes. The great people that live in the state of California can't retire in the state of California because of the tax codes that they have in that state. Honestly, the people that live there, you know where they retire? New Mexico, Florida, Texas, and Arizona. Why do you think Arizona's turning blue? Because they can't live, all the Californians, in the state of California anymore. And you think the Oakland A's, they ran the Raiders out of town. Steven, there's no way on the planet the A's are going to be there in Oakland. They're just telling people what they want to hear publicly so that the politicians don't get killed by people in the city there, and I mean verbally, when it comes to the fact that they're not going to lift a finger to, you think they're going to lift a finger to raise funds when you've got retrofitting for earthquakes, you've got a power grid that's brutal, you got an unemployment system that sucks. You're going to build a stadium for the A's. Okay, with taxpayer money. And this is why, and this is why everybody in Vegas goes, come over here. I'll take your teams. Thank you. Well, come over here. I'm Mr. Helper. Come over here. Oh, no, you don't want the Raiders? Not a problem. Come on. Oh, you want to put a hockey team? What? Yeah. NBA has the summer league here. Yeah, we're getting it all ready and primed for a new NBA team to be here. Oh, but guess what? The sport that frowns on gambling. The sport that keeps Rose out of the Hall of Fame. See, this is what they would have to do. They'd have to have a come to Jesus conversation with themselves as a league. Well, wait a minute here. Didn't we have all that stuff go on back in the day when it came to the Black Sox and the gambling and the throwing of the World Series, Pete Rose? But now we're accepting it. Oh, yeah, now it's cool. Today it's cool. Oh, yeah, gambling wasn't cool then, but now it's cool. Yeah, no, hey. And you can't make the players not gamble because it's legal. You can't gamble on why? It's legal. You can't stop me anymore. Pete Rose must be sitting there going, okay, I'm clearly living in an upside down world. So gambling is legal and I'm still exiled from the game. And for the record, never as a player have I ever been accused of throwing a baseball game. Pete Rose is not a Hall of Fame manager, but Pete Rose is a Hall of Fame player. How did you tie that in? His mediocre managing career to his incredible baseball career. Yeah, but Rose has to be down. The gambling has to keep him out. Wait a minute here. Rose is never going to be a Hall of Fame manager. Oh, well, so we're just going to keep him out because he's a bad guy. Oh, bad guy. Like Tris Speaker being a Ku Klux Klan member. Okay, yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Baseball has weird things in its past. Okay, weird things. And now baseball has to have a true come to G. Well, we're going to have to embrace baseball's going to have to embrace gambling. So anti that sport, isn't it? Of all the sports, it's going to have a tougher time transitioning into that. Hell, they want to put a sports book in Wrigley. Think of that for a minute. They frowned on gambling baseball. How do you think the A's are going to get their ballpark? Through gambling. Hey, how do you think the Raiders got their new stadium? Through gambling. How do you think the Golden Knights, they're there because of gambling? You think Vegas is some textile city like Pittsburgh? That city was built on gaming and the mob. Oh, we forgot that, right? Gaming and the mob built Vegas. Shh, Sileo, don't do that. It's family now. Oh, I'm sure my kids sitting at a craps table will have a great time. Hey, Dad, should I throw snake eyes? Go ahead, honey. Hey, if it keeps the Raiders here, throw those dice, baby. I love how we compromise ourselves nowadays. Oh, gambling. Yeah, no, it's cool now. Oh, why is it cool? I don't know. It's like smoking weed now. We could smoke weed now and gamble. Nobody cares. Oh, I got it. Must be something to do with taxes. Right? It must be something to do, well, the government now take a bite out of things now. Just look at your check, especially if you live in New York or California. Government does take a bite, my friends. Right? Hey, staying in Oakland. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, just like the Golden State Warriors stayed there. They're now in San Francisco. They got a sweetheart of a deal. All right, let me get over to Mike Tomlin. So, one of my favorite organizations in all of sports, I told you this numerous times, is the Steelers. Why is that? Stability, strength, leadership. They don't knee-jerk. They're patient. They're great evaluators of talent. Spectacular, actually. They find guys in latter rounds, and they find people that maybe people don't see something in, and what they'll do is they'll nurture that person. They'll give that person, how about this? They'll give that person every chance to fail. When you're in Pittsburgh, it's not just about succeeding. But you really have to try to fail in Pittsburgh when you're in the Pittsburgh organization. Facts. Absolute facts. So Mike Tomlin was asked the question, do you regret not, looking at a different quarterback and bringing Ben Roethlisberger back? You know what Mike Tomlin of the Steelers said? By the way, the best head coach in front of a microphone I've ever heard. Mike Tomlin, to me, is the coach that I want to play for, because this guy looks like he will put you on blast no matter who you are in a locker room. You're going to do things the Pittsburgh Steeler way, and if you don't, they'll move you. They have done things in that organization for over 50 years. The recent success of that team since 1969 is unparalleled with any organization I would say, in sports today, and that includes the Patriots. They've been great in the 70s. They've been great in the 80s. They've been great in the 90s. They've been great in 2000s and 2010s and now up into the. They may not be that great this year, but this is why they're not going to have a knee-jerk reaction. They're patient. 3 head coaches, as I tell you this, and I will continue to tell you this statistic until your head explodes, because I think it's significant. 3 head coaches since 1969. There's not a business in this country that you could put with major success with only 3 CEOs. And by the way, if you show me those CEOs with that limited amount of people that have been put in those CEO chairs, I'll show you a successful company. Those are people that believe in managing. Those are people that believe in developing the talent that they hire. And when they hire somebody, they're not looking to make those people excuses for their own failures. It's why Pittsburgh is the best franchise in America. It's not the Patriots. The Patriots have been good for the last 20 years. The Steelers have been great for the last 50. It's amazing. Tomlin goes like this: I don't regret it. We're not going to overreact here. Personally, I think the Steelers are in trouble. Their offensive line doesn't look the same. But you know what you have? You have leadership not being driven by the wins or by the comments on social media pages. Some guy in some Reddit posting, oh, Mike Tomlin has to go. You know, if Mike Tomlin was ever fired, I don't think it would hit the wire before he was hired again. Every team would be going like this. They would be calling him, what does it take for you to become the head coach of my Arizona Cardinal team or my Jets team? He's a phenomenal coach. I would even say in Philadelphia. Who would you want, Nick Sirianni or Mike Tomlin? I think it's a dumb comment, right? It is. Of course, we all know who you'd want because the guy's a leader. He knows how to lead. But think of something else when it came to management styles. Watch this. Le'Veon Bell. Where is he today? Where's Le'Veon Bell? Does he even have a job? He was a star in Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, it's been a train wreck since he left Pittsburgh, hasn't it? Well, Mike Tomlin somehow managed all of these egos, made it work, and with crybaby Roethlisberger. You know, I don't know. Oh, God, Ben. I know this. Anytime that you're, like, I guess an older quarterback, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, I guess the new thing today is you cry more. Hey, but, you know, they don't really talk to me well. It's kind of what Aaron Rodgers does, right? I don't really know. You know, they're not really treating me well. Oh, dude, really? Okay. Right? Tomlin's not like that. He represents the city he's in, that hardcore city, hardworking city of Pittsburgh. It's totally why the Steelers, like I said, they're the best. They really are. They're just the best, man. And Tomlin's handling it right. Did they make a mistake on bringing Roethlisberger back? No, because you know why? I just got through telling you the number one thing that they believe in. They believe in their players and they believe in stability. Did they hang on to a guy a little bit too long? Yes. But do you fault them? Wouldn't you rather have an organization that was loyal to its employees instead of being some jackass company that doesn't believe in their employees? Who would you rather work for? The Steelers or the Jets? You know, I hear and the media people are criticizing, well, they kept him too long. Dude, really? this is where I take my media hat off. And I say this to you. Well, if I was a football player today and I saw how Pittsburgh treats all their guys, that's totally one place that I'd want to be. I'd want to be in that building. They're constantly in your corner. They're constantly trying to nurture you all the way to the very end. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler, I guess. That's the thing that Mike Tomlin shows you. And that's the kind of character you want as a leader in your company. Because I do look at NFL teams as a company. And your CEO is your head football coach. He's got to make it work. And Tomlin makes it work by the way he handles himself and his phenomenal demeanor that he has. All right, folks, do me a favor. Get over to the website, podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, anything that you're looking for, folks. This is the place that you want to have. 25% off because you know Big Sills. Anything on the menu there, like to say it, menu. If you have anything when it comes to a scenario, when it comes to buying a microphone or a desk, you're trying to build that home studio, shipping is free. This is your one-stop place. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000 at podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. Deshaun Watson is back in the news. 3 teams are looking at him. You want to know who they are? I'll tell you next. You keep it on the Sileo Show. Yes. I won't be available. Jesus Christ, man. I was wondering. I go, is this guy all right? Chris, I got a question for you. You think the longer looking over a proposal, it's a good thing because if you didn't like something, you would say it immediately, right? You just wouldn't. Okay. But that doesn't usually take 2 days. Okay. No, she's the CMO. She's the chief marketing officer. You think she's got to clear that with somebody to get that kind of money? It's $68,000 for the final quarter. Would that be the CEO? CFO, probably. Yeah. Okay. I think we're getting John Morgan, too. Oh, good luck with that. Yeah, okay. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Thanks to everybody, Ken, and everybody that come aboard on my social media platforms as well during the broadcast here with USA Radio Network. Top of the hour, I want to show you the difference between certain teams and other teams in sports. And they don't care about baggage and what a guy may have or not have. They care about winning. I'm going to show you what that is in a minute here. And I know the woke society of today probably hates that kind of stuff, but I'm going to explain it. We'll do that next. So, looks like the Houston Texans have come off their asking price when it comes to assets that would be needed to move Deshaun Watson. They're lowering it, and there's three teams. Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Denver Broncos. I would say this to you. Anything that can improve my football team, I'm going to do it within legal reason. And here's something else if you're the Eagles, and I brought this up on my stream show today, and I'll say it again. Jalen Hurts, the guy that you have quarterbacking your football team, will not beat Dak Prescott. Let's do this. If the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott played the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts 10 times, how many times do you think Dak would beat Jalen Hurts and that Eagle team? How many times? What would be Dak Prescott? You know what Dak Prescott's record is right now against the NFC East? Do you know what his record is in his career? Or I think it's over the last 3 years. He's 11-1. He's 11-1. So you better have some fancy talking and give me some strong talking points on why that number wouldn't change. There's nobody in that division right now. I don't know what's going on with Washington. That defense is not performing. The Giants are a train wreck. And the Eagles have a headless horseman. The fact they don't have the quarterback situation figured out, I don't care how many draft choices you hit on. I don't care how many people like Devontae Smith you bring in. If you don't have anybody to compete against Dak Prescott, there is no way on the planet you're going to win that division, like ever, unless Dak gets hurt. So what's the remedy for that? Well, you could go get Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is 24-7 as a starting quarterback for the 49ers. I don't know. That's pretty impressive. Been to a Super Bowl, won an NFC championship. No, right? What's Aaron Rodgers going to do next year? Not sure. Yeah, he's going to be in Green Bay. How about him in Philadelphia, in that city, playing against the Cowboys and the Giants and Washington? That might be something that really, sparks his interest. I know this. He ain't going back to the state of California. They got their quarterbacks there. Justin Herbert is going to be a star with the Chargers. Matthew Stafford's an MVP candidate. And they just drafted Trey Lance. And they still got Garoppolo there. So he ain't going back to California. Is he going to Denver? All right, maybe. I don't know. Dolphins have seemingly the assets. But if I'm Philadelphia, I do everything I can in my power to back up the Brinks truck, get all my assets, all my draft choices. I don't care if you want to play or whatever, just to get that guy in the building. You're going to have to do something to beat Dak Prescott. All the things that we have been saying about Dak this offseason, he's playing great ball. By the way, next segment, I'll talk about MVP candidate too. Burying the lead a little bit there, but Dak's playing great football. And he's just showing you what a great leader is. You talk about the face and a franchise quarterback. Has Dak not just absolutely painted that portrait of what a franchise quarterback looks like? He's an impressive guy. He really is. He's an impressive guy. I love watching him. I'll tell you what, man. Cowboys got it going on. They got it going on. They got a big game this weekend. We'll take a look at some of those big games this weekend, too. Just not give you a prediction yet, but just kind of the games that are going to tell us even more, because this will be a quarter pole of the NFL season. Okay? This is going to tell us a lot about some of the teams and what direction that they're going in. Want to hit on Patrick Mahomes? We'll look at some of the games coming up. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Be right back. Not ignoring you. Great. Whatever, dude. Yeah, okay. Huh? What happened to Arn Anderson? He didn't die, did he? No, he's just talking about something else. Don't worry about it, kid. It's all right. See, I don't have to go. I don't have to go to those profanities because my intelligence level is superior to yours, and I don't use words like that. And nor do I throw myself into the gutter, as George Washington Carver would say. Never lower one's, self-esteem down into the gutter, like the person I'm talking to now. Okay, remember that. Just keep that into context. I'm sorry. What are you saying? I'm not really paying attention. This is stupid. I hate it. I know. Now you got me doing it. Now you turned me into a penis. Huh? Wow. That's thanks a lot, kid. Yeah. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Hope you're having an inspired night and week. Inspiration comes from within, though, right? Do you need others to inspire you or not? Or do you need people to tell you how good a job you're doing all the time? Are you one of those guys? I don't mind that sometimes, especially in a business like the one I'm in. You don't get that a lot, but that's okay because you know what you usually get? You get self-gratification on your paycheck. Okay? That's when you get self-gratification. Pats on the back and on the head. Oh, great, whatever. I got those in high school and I got those in college, Really doesn't matter. People's value matters when a company values you. That's how you know where you are. That's this conversation that's going on with Brady and Belichick this week. Value. Who is more here's the media's new dynamic. Okay? Here's the media's new. Who was more valuable in the dynasty of the Patriots? Does it matter? Is it a talking point? Is it barbershop conversation? By the way, thank you everybody that's coming aboard here each and every single night here on our great network of cities that we have here with USA Radio Network. Thank you so much. Also on our social media platforms, on our Twitch and YouTube channel, music makers here, Steven, Ken, everybody posting thoughts and adding. We'll get to Richard Sherman being added. I think that's a significant sign by the Buccaneers. But this Brady and Belichick story is like really, it's mind-numbing to me a little bit because I look at it and I go, I don't really care who gets the strength of who was bigger in the relationship than the other. Was it more Brady? Was it more Belichick? Who cares? These two men did something that was spectacular as a coach and a player that we have never seen in professional football. Why can't it be that? It's the greatest accomplishment by a quarterback and coach in the history of the game. But you know what you're trying to do this week? You're trying to turn this into an adversarial relationship between Brady and Belichick, and the media is doing it. It's not real. There is no animosity. Belichick has no animosity. Why would Bill Belichick have animosity towards a guy who won 9 AFC championships and 6 Super? Who in their right mind would have animosity to that? Tom Brady helped put Belichick in the Hall of Fame and vice versa. Why would Brady have any kind of angst against Bill. And maybe Tom wanted to be stroked a little more. I don't know why Brady doesn't get hammered for that. Kid, shut up, man. You're Tom Brady. Act like it. Do you really need to be stroked? What up, Tim? Do you really? You've got Giselle. You've got the trophies. You've got the esteem. You've got the eventual Hall of Fame jacket that's coming your way. What do you want, blood now? I mean, I'm not sure what the hell. But then again, this is not Tom Brady making this up. This is the dumbass media people making this up. Hey, did you see the comment that Drew Brees made? Brady has a chance on Sunday to pass Brees for the all-time passing yardage mark. You know what Drew said? Hey, man, more power to him. Good luck. I'm pulling for him. Do you believe it? Of course you do. Because you know why? Drew Brees is one of those players that he roots for players. Doesn't root against them. He doesn't talk trash on them. He knows how hard it is to win games in the NFL. And he knows who Brady is. If I'm going to be passed by someone, I want to be passed by him. And it tells you a lot about Drew Brees. Remember they were trying to paint him a racist 2 years ago? Because he wouldn't stand with Colin Kaepernick. Look at what the media did to Brees. How embarrassing that whole thing was for Drew. He had to lie to you because you can't take the truth. Drew had to absolutely lie to the American public and go like this. Yeah, I would stand with Kaepernick and I understand racism in America. He had to go down that whole stupid lie thing that he doesn't believe in. Because you know this, he would never take a knee for the national anthem. He'd never. But he had to lie just so that the woke society wouldn't throw him under a bus or something. Remember, they did anyway. They called him and his wife racist. Even all the wonderful things that they did during Katrina. It never mattered. The millions of dollars that he rolled into that city of New Orleans didn't matter. Because he wouldn't stand with Kaepernick, who, by the way, never wanted to play anyway again. He loves being the martyr. Kaepernick will always be the martyr. And then jump in his Ferrari and go live in his mansion. Like every other person who preys on racism. They jump in their Ferrari or they get in their helicopter and then they fly to the Hamptons. Malcolm X said it great. Those people, they lie and they are masquerading around that they want to help you. It's not true. They want to help themselves. The race business in this country is a gigantic business. Ask Al Sharpton. That guy's made a career out of being that guy. Don't know if it's really ethical. I mean, I never heard Al Sharpton after he called all those kids down at the Duke lacrosse scenario and apologized to them for wrecking their lives, having them thrown out of school. District attorney who completely lied, and so did the victim. Nobody apologized to those people. Wrecking their lives. Calling them racist and their parents racist. Right? I like Brees. But to me, I'll always go like this. Why did you succumb to that? He surrendered to that. Instead of standing up and going like this. Hey, you know what? I don't care what you say. Colin Kaepernick is a fraud. He's a fraud. If he really wanted to play, I don't care what role it is. I'll hold the football. I will be the 15th team quarterback. I will be the water boy if you wanted. Just to get back in the NFL locker room. This is not how you go back into the NFL. Well, I'm not going to go back into the NFL unless I'm making $17 million a year and I'm a starter. Sorry, son. Most things in sports aren't handed to you. You've got to earn them. The only place today that you can have things handed to you is in our government. That's the only place. You don't have to work, hell, for an entire year. Americans didn't have to work. In the NFL, you have to work. In sports, you have to work. That's why there's more people in the stands than there are on the field. Okay? I mean, the whole Breeze thing, I saw Breeze, by the way, I like Drew, and I admire his career. Here's a guy, I saw him play in Tampa, and it was his final college game. I think it was against Georgia. It was in the Outback Bowl. I was doing sideline for the Outback Bowl, and I saw him throwing the ball all over the place. I said, this guy, too bad he's too short. I just don't think this guy is going to make it into the NFL. I remember going back and telling my wife, man, I got to tell you, this guy Breeze is somebody special. Sure enough, he was. Sure enough, he was special. All right, hey, bottom of the hour, we'll take a look at some of these significant games in week 4. Wow, we're already here at the quarter pole of the NFL season. Isn't that crazy? We're here at the quarter pole. So we'll look at some of the significant games. By the way, Music Maker here on my YouTube channel. Hey, Dan, did you like the Bucs signing of Richard Sherman? Let me throw something at you here. The difference between certain organizations and others. Richard Sherman is a guy from Stanford. Hell of a football player. Played on the Legion of Doom in Seattle, and we all know the story. He's one of the great quarterbacks. Could you say that he's a Hall of Famer? Probably. I think he's going to be in the conversation for Hall of Fame. Music Makers asked me what I thought about the Bucs signing him. Well, very interesting offseason. DUI in D.C. He's got like a home invasion and like a domestic violence case against him in California. Did that stop the Bucs from signing him? Guess who did it? Brady picked the phone up and called Richard Sherman and said, hey, do you have anything left? Can you help us? You know what Richard Sherman said? Give me a week and a half. I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready. So they're not going to have him for this Patriots game, which they desperately need him because the Bucs secondary is decimated right now. Some guy's going to be coming off IR soon. But to have leadership like Richard Sherman in the building, it's a big deal. And Brady picking the phone up. This is what Brady wanted in New England. I get it. Okay, he wanted to have some influence on potential free agents coming to his team. I do think that NFL quarterbacks should have that distinction, that they should be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, Le'Veon Bell, would you like to come down here and be a running back here for the Packers or whatever, if you're Aaron Rodgers or you're someone like even now Dak Prescott. I think that that's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Will the Cowboys allow Dak to do what Tom Brady's doing right now? Have an influence on what kind of players go into Dallas? Or will that always be a Jones family decision? Just because you're paying Dak $42 million a year, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Joneses are just going to go like this. Why don't you come into the draft room, or why don't you come into the free agent room, and you can sit up and make calls to try to potentially go out there and bring and attract free agents. I'm not necessarily thinking that's going to go down like that. So, but Brady picking the phone up, I love it. I think it's remarkable that in such a short period of time. And then again, remarkable, maybe not, because everything Tom Brady does is remarkable. You know, people go like this to me all the time. Boy, Dan, you really love Brady, don't you? I just love the winning. I just love the consistency. I love everything that this guy does. I've never seen, you know what? And I say he's a modern day Bill Russell. All the championships, the way he led. Is he the greatest arm thrower of all time? No. Is he the greatest runner of all time? Absolutely not. Is he the greatest thinker of all time in the game? Maybe. Is he the greatest quarterback teammate? Hey, you know what the most remarkable thing about also Brady is? Here, let me throw this at you. Have you ever heard anybody talk trash on him that was a former teammate of his? In my business, radio, it's more people talking trash on someone than giving good kudos to someone. Most of it's professional jealousy. I've never heard a teammate say anything negative about Tom Brady. Like ever. Hell, you got people coming out of the woodworks left and right every week about Aaron Rodgers. My top 3 candidates for MVP so far in the early part of the NFL season. Week 4, NFL bottom of the hour. We'll take a look at some baseball, too. I got a comment about who the National League MVP should be. We'll do it next. Thank you. Better. A little bit better. Yeah, thanks for everything, Chris. By the way, the Pro Flowers, it was a great meeting with everyone. It was great. They're with ad results and such. I hope I land. Dude, I've realized, Chris, where my feet are is where I need to do it. You know what I mean? Oh, you're such a penis. No, I just ignore you. That's a good. Now you're Italian? Wow. All right. I'm easily bought. Don't you know that by now? Hi, this is Dan Sileo, and I like to talk about a brand new product. It's called Chris, the prophylactic that never stops. And this prophylactic, believe me, it's got holes everywhere. Okay, Chris, the prophylactic. All right. That's never happening. Already voted the greatest D-line in history of the school. No, I won't stop. It's not Fantasyland, kid. It's reality. We don't talk about elections. We talk about things that happened, actually happened. Okay. Stop crying. I can't stand it no more. Oh, God. Yeah, whatever. I'm not upset. You don't upset me. That means I have to respect you, and I don't. I could care less what you think. Hey, Aunt Betty, it's not real. I just want you to. It's not real. It's not real, guys. I'm not. Hey, we're just goofing around, guys. Yeah, because I got everybody. I love the guy. Okay, we're like tight as hell. Oh, absolutely. Just want everyone to know. I love this guy. I blame you, Chris. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Welcome aboard with us here tonight. You know, we do 2 shows at one time here. Great affiliates out there on USA Radio Network. And by the way, Las Vegas Golden Knights, we appreciate it very much that you're part of the Dan Sileo Show and the Nevada Radio Network, thank you so much for being part of us. We got NHL starting up here real soon. They're going to be dropping the puck. So we thank everybody for coming aboard with us. Everybody on our social media platforms over on Twitch and YouTube, thank you. Really cool. All right. We're going to take a look at the upcoming week 4 of the NFL here in a minute. And I'm telling you, we're starting to get a sense of who everyone is. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a thumbs up, thumbs down on how teams are performing so far as we go into week 4. Okay? But I want to give you a little sense here of my MVPs so far and where they are. Now, somebody would say, Dak Prescott's got to be on that list. I think Dak's playing great ball. I do. Is he in my top 5? Probably. Without Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are nowhere, really. Now, their running game has improved. I'll tell you what, Dan Quinn's been a much-needed asset on that defensive side of the football. They're playing fast. You notice the Cowboys? They're playing fast. And you know what else, too? This guy, Micah Parsons here from Penn State, this kid here, he said something today that was really good. You know what it was? He goes like this. I don't care if you call me a linebacker or a defensive end. I have no caring. As a matter of fact, I'm both. Do you know what a problem that is for defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators? More so offensive coordinators, I should say. What is the kid? Is he a linebacker? Can he cover? Can he not cover? Are they going to put him down on a 3-point and rush him? Talk about versatility, man. That's impossible to defend. When you're an offensive guy, that means you got to put a tight end on him always or keep a back in. That's the one thing that everyone always omits when they're talking about the greatness of Lawrence Taylor. After Taylor started killing your quarterbacks and he was annihilating your guys, what happened? People like Bill Walsh and Joe Gibbs had to do what? Either leave a tight end in or they had to leave a back in to block him. Instead of a guy getting out of the perimeter or a tight end with a free release, you had to account for him. That's what revolutionized that position. That's why you look at LT and you go, man, that's what you're getting here with this kid. Putting him down, standing him up. That's something that offensive coordinators have to account for. By the way, top 3, Lamar Jackson, Ravens. Carr with the Raiders. And Matthew Stafford with the Rams. Matthew Stafford has been everything as advertised. Everything is advertised when it comes to what the impact he was going to have when he got to Los Angeles. That team, as I've been saying all week so far, will be a tough out for any team in the NFC. They keep that running game improving. They keep that defense where they're stopping people and keeping people third and long. Aaron Donald continues to be Aaron Donald. Boy, I'll tell you, the Rams, that is going to be a very, very tough ball game for anybody to go into LA because they may have home field advantage. All right, this goes out to our great friends in the Phoenix area, okay? Listen, get down to your local Valley Hooters. They have absolutely great giveaways. All the freebies you want there, man. I mean, it is just an off-the-chain environment there. $3 Michelob Ultra drafts for you. All kinds of great course specials. All kinds of great Corona specials. I'm telling you, man, UFC, Arizona State, Cardinal football, this is your one-stop place. And do me a favor, Big Sills sent you. We'll look at some of these huge games for week 4 of the National Football League. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Chris, give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Excuse me. I don't know. Whatever. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Having a fun time. love you guys coming aboard with us. Thank you so much. How about this? You can always tell what a person or a team or a business is doing through trends, right? Especially in the radio business. They're enormous, constantly evaluated. Just like in professional football, baseball, all that. You're constantly evaluated. And you're constantly looking at those trends because you're hoping that those trends usually, and most notably, you try to change them if they're bad, and you try to change them and manipulate them a little bit if they're going well. You want to maintain that upward trend for your business or your team, whatever. You do everything to stay out in front of things, right? And you start to get a good grasp of who you are and what you are. And that's exactly what general managers, coaches, players, everybody in the NFL is doing now. You know what they're thinking? Week 4 here. Okay, we have a litmus test. We have a sample size of who you are. Will you be a contender or a pretender? Are you a team trending up or down or in that same cesspool? For years, this time of the year traditionally tells us the teams that will be standing at the end of the finish line. We're constantly told that as players. This is why they always tell you, eye in the sky never lies. You're constantly filmed. Practice, game. Hell, even in your workouts now, you're filmed. Everything you do is scrutinized by the front office because of the amount of millions of dollars that are being pumped in to these organizations today. Everything is evaluated. So when we go over, like I tell you, I'm not just looking at games. I'm looking how, as an organization, you have been performing as we go into week 4. Man, after week 4, we'll definitely know even more about how a team looks. Because sometimes out of the gate, you get helter-skelter up and down. You know, it's a little sporadic because that could be numerous things. A young team, a lot of free agents, both, new coach, new quarterback, people getting their feet wet, all of that. You know, what rookie coach is going to be the guy who you're looking at going, I don't know. So let's do this here a little bit. This is week 4 coming up. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. And I said to you, and I'll go thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll do this here. Jacksonville, thumbs down. So far, the Urban Meyer experiment, I don't know. I don't see it. How about this? Do you feel comfortable with what Urban is doing right now as a coach in Jacksonville? You know, I've got to be fair to this process because I was with Jimmy Johnson and I heard the same stuff being said by guys like me and meatheads like me about Jimmy. The year Jimmy went 1-15, do you know everybody, you know, the only guys who ended up really standing up for Jimmy Johnson and said Jimmy was doing the right thing, you know who they were? Believe it or not, it was Buddy Ryan and it was Bill Parcells. Parcells knew Jimmy was heading in the right direction with his Cowboys. You know what he told Jimmy? I'll never forget. Told Jimmy, stay to your convictions. And Coach did. You know, they wanted Jimmy to go to a 34. He said, no, I'm a 4-3 guy, and I'll always be a 4-3 guy. I'm talking defensive fronts. Never changed. Cowboys ended up winning all those Super Bowls, and his defenses ended up going on and being number 1 in the NFL. And they were the youngest team. So that's a component in this Urban Meyer experiment that I've got to be cognizant of. But Trevor Lawrence, I loved what I heard today in the press conference. He's like, look, man, I got to get better, and I know it. And I know it's going to get better. I just got to learn the game. You know, here's a guy that had no losing really at Clemson. So I feel for the kid. Believe me, when you go from a great program to a suck-ass organization, I promise you, it's not a good feeling. You're mentally beat down because I would say this to you. Trevor Lawrence probably has lost more games so far than he has in his high school and college career. You know, he only lost one time as a starting quarterback at Clemson. And I can't think he lost a boatload of games in high school. This guy was the number one recruit in the country. He's lost more games than what he's lost in high school and in college. It's pretty remarkable. So losing plays a factor. But right now, Jacksonville, thumbs down. How about Cincinnati? That's who they play on Thursday night. Cincinnati's thumbs up. I told you to pick them against the Steelers last week. Joe Burrow, the new quarterback from a year ago, they drafted, Heisman Trophy winner, ended up blowing his knee out. You know, this guy has rallied himself from that injury and has made the Bengals a contender. I don't think the Bengals are a playoff team, but I like what they're doing. That's an organization that's trending up. It's a damn good roster, too. You know, as much as people say the Browns don't want to spend money, they spent quite a bit of money. Joe Mixon, the contract extension they just gave him, running back. Cincinnati's got some good things going there. Thumbs up for them. Sunday games, Washington versus Atlanta. Washington. You know, the only thing that the Washington team has going for it right now is Ron Rivera. That defense is a train wreck. I don't know why, but it's just not playing well. Quarterback situation, here's another football team. The quarterback situation, you addressed it with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Think of that for a minute. As much as I like Ryan and the story of 9 teams and the guy from Harvard, and he's got a great Conor McGregor beard and all, you know, it great. But at the end of the day, you haven't addressed your quarterback position. Why don't you go get Cam Newton? There's a relationship between him and Ron. I guess Ron and him weren't friends in Carolina, even though Cam led him to a Super Bowl. They had won an MVP. So you have some dude named Tyler Heineke as the starting quarterback for you in Washington, and you got Cam Newton out there, former MVP of the NFL, and you think Cam can't help your team. But, you know, I find that incredible. Washington, thumbs down. Atlanta's one of those teams now that's just circling in the toilet. You've got Matt Ryan, $68 million against your cap if you get rid of him. You know, you could start deferring some of that money next year. So, you know, Matt Ryan may be on the move next year. I don't think Matt went into New York over the weekend and he beat a horrible Giants team. But you look at, you know, Atlanta and you're like, I don't know, where are they going? Are they improved with the new coach? Are they improved on defense? I don't see it. So how about this? I say this to Atlanta, thumbs down. I don't know where you're going. And get this, and that's an organization that has a quarterback. Houston and Buffalo. What's more to be said about the Texans? Until you address this Deshaun Watson case and trading him, that's the story. There's nothing about winning with an injured Tyrod Taylor. I don't even know who's quarterback in the team now. And I would say, I don't know, until you address and you move Deshaun Watson, that's your storyline. So you're almost kind of in a pause. So I'm not going to give them thumbs down. I'm just going to go like this. You're in neutral right now. You can't go up or down until you address this and you move the guy, and then you can get your draft choices. It's time to do it, guys. It's time to pull the trigger. Like I said a couple segments ago, it's now that the Texans and Nick Caserio, the general manager, has said that they're softened on their stance a little bit when it comes to the asking price. Well, duh. We're now in a position where you have to make this happen. Crapper, get off the pot here with this. Not just going to sit around and pray that the kid changes his mind anymore. He doesn't want to play there anymore. Move the guy. Get your assets. Start your future today, not after the season. This is dumb, them holding on to the guy. Really is. It's dumb. So you're going to hold on to a $38 million a year quarterback. Why? Because you think you're going to change his mind? Buffalo. And again, so Houston, again, you're neutral. I don't know. Buffalo, trending up. Josh Allen's a great player. Sean McDermott, the head coach, very underrated. Maybe the most underrated coach in the NFL. Their defense is not what for the last 2 years, actually, it's gone back the other way a little bit. But Buffalo's a really good team. And you have a franchise quarterback, and you're going to dominate that division. Mac Jones so far with New England hasn't shown me jack. Zach Wilson hasn't shown me anything with the Jets. And Tua came out last week that Stephen Ross wants Deshaun Watson as a starting quarterback with the Dolphins. So Tua, he's in limbo. They own that division, the Bills, in my estimation. Bills are trending up, man. Detroit and Chicago. Detroit's an interesting study so far in this first part of the season. I think they're really playing hard. I'm seeing good coaching out of the new coach, Dan Campbell. I know he got ruined for the kneecap comments and eating kneecaps and all that other WWE stuff. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. They just need to put 4 quarters of football together. But they're playing hard. They rallied against the 49ers. They didn't get it done, and they didn't win. But they play hard every single time they get out there. They played hard against the Packers. They played hard last week. Came down to a field goal beating them. I think the Lions are in the right direction. I think they're playing hard, man. So I'm going to say trending up, even though their record doesn't indicate it. I love seeing good coaching and players responding to that good coaching, even if the record doesn't indicate it. How about Chicago? How about this one here? I think Chicago's trending down. You know why? So Justin Fields people were screaming about him. They were screaming about him starting. Well, once he got in, everybody in Chicago, they were like gassed that he played as bad as he did. 68 passing yards last week. He was atrocious. So now Matt Nagy is caught in a tough position. Do you bench him? Imagine that, young kid. Chicago, in my opinion, is trending down, and they drafted a young quarterback because they don't know what to do now with Justin Fields. Carolina, Dallas. I love what Carolina's doing. The reclamation project to Sam Darnold continues at 3-0 in the year. That's going to be a hell of a football game in Dallas. Darnold versus Dallas, and Dallas' start. Carolina's trending up big time with Matt Rule, the head coach. Dallas, trending up. First time I've said that in 3 years. They are. Dan Quinn's been an impact on the defensive side of the ball, and Dak Prescott's playing his ass off. Dallas is trending up, my friends. Indianapolis, Miami, trending down, Indy. Wow. Carson Wentz looks terrible. Overthrows, O-line not playing well, defense not playing well. They better rectify this or their season's over this weekend if they lose to Miami. Must win. And Miami, they're caught kind of in the middle too now. They got Jacoby Brissett playing. Tua's injured again. Miami right now, I'm going to put them in a stall because they're trying to get Deshaun Watson. They got to address the quarterback position. Trending down right now or stall. How about this? I'll say stall right now because they're going after Deshaun. Cleveland, they played Minnesota. Cleveland's trending up. Myles Garrett was named AFC Player of the Week defensively. That kid is great. 4.5 sacks last week. Wow. And Baker Mayfield playing well. Cleveland's got it going on. Minnesota, trending down. Mike Zimmer, in my opinion, boy, man, they better have a next couple good. This game is huge for Zimmer. You beat Cleveland, you put your name back in the hat again and keeping your job. But right now, Minnesota, Dalvin Cook, where is he? The Giants versus New Orleans. The Giants are a train wreck. That thing is trending down, down, down to, really, double hockey sticks. Okay? Holy cow, the Giants bad. Holy cow, are they bad, man. Wow. And the Saints are trending up with Jameis Winston. I love what Sean Payton's doing. All right, we'll finish it up. Don't forget, folks, please go onto the website, podcasterwarehouse.com. 25% off everything. That's there on the website. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 or $5,000. We'll pick it up with Tennessee and the Jets. I mean, you see where I'm going here? I'm now getting a sense of who you are because of everything that's being played out in front of us here. We'll finish it up. We'll take a look at week 4 of the NFL. Only place you hear it, right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Why, thank you, dude. No. What's that? I see it. She'd have been a good BLM person. She came out with some lame-ass comment like the mayor of Oakland did. Oh, we're going to try to keep the Bears as much as we... So the Bears are not going to be in the city of Chicago. Oh, okay. Then again, to your point, Chris. Here, they could always put their training facility there. Make like what Jerry has now. You know, because Jerry has that like Cowboy World thing. You know, where that. You know, it was funny that the I forget what I was going to say. I forget. Yeah, too many hits to the head. Of course. How are you going to get that done? They got to come up with $250 million because the NFL kicks in $250. There's $5, and then taxes or bonds pay the rest of it. Stadiums today are $2 billion. Never happened. You imagine the Bears moving out of the Chicago area. I know, man. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Chris and I were just talking, my guy Chris O. Can you imagine if the Bears ever did really pick up and leave Illinois? Oh, my God, man. St. Louis had the Cardinals for a while and the Rams. I just don't see the McCaskies or the Hallases saying they were moving out of Chicago. Now, I will say one thing. So you don't think there's cities around the country right now like San Antonio with Red McCombs and all these people that would kick up a couple $2 billion to build a stadium for them? Always know this. The NFL, you can put these teams on Pluto, and they're still going to get the television ratings because the NFL is gold right now. And I'm not suggesting to you that Chicago would. I agree with Chris, 90% chance that they would never move out of Illinois in a billion years. However, $3 billion? Yeah. I don't know. That's a new shirt right there. Okay? Money talks, football teams walk. I'm going to steal that. That's a great t-shirt. Ask the Rams. They walked right out of St. Louis. How about this, too? 2 old AFL. You know what's funny? Chris just said today he would never leave Chicago, and I'm in agreement with him. But the old AFL teams, remember this, though, okay? We all know this. The Chargers started in L.A. They were there only a year, but they made their bones in San Diego. And they played AFL games in San Diego. They had no problem scooting out of that city. And the Raiders were an Oakland team, and that's another old AFL city. They left that city like it was no problem. How about the Houston Oilers? The Oilers left Houston, went to Tennessee. Never in a million years would I've ever thought the Houston Oilers would have left. So Chicago, who could have ever thought Bears and Packers, and you're playing in, I don't know, you're playing in San Antonio, or you're playing in St. Louis, like Chris said. The London Bears, no, I think that's still reserved for Jacksonville. I do, man. I think that's still reserved there. So, yeah, Lori Lightfoot, man, she put out a statement today, and you're going like this. Hey, come on, man. You're just saying what people want to hear because you know for a fact you're not going to give the McCaskies and the Hallises enough money to build a stadium. Okay, you're just not. Let me finish up these teams here for week 4 here. Let's get over here now. We finished up here with New York and New Orleans. Tennessee and New York. Jets trending down. Tennessee trending up. Kansas City, Philly. Kansas City, 2 straight losses? Really? I think they're trending down, and I think Philly's trending down. Jalen Hurts is not the guy. Arizona and the Rams, what a good game. 2 undefeated teams. Arizona's trending up with Kyler Murray, and the Rams are trending up clearly with Matthew Stafford. That's good stuff there, man. Right? Seattle, I think they're trending down. They just got beat again. San Francisco, kind of trending up. There's no quarterback controversy in San Francisco, too. It's Garoppolo's job. Baltimore trending up. Love Lamar Jackson, MVP candidate. Denver 3-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. Way to go, John Elway. Team's trending up. Pittsburgh down. Wow. Worst O-line that I can remember in Steeler history. Green Bay trending back up again after the debacle in week 1. Good stuff. And the Bucks go into New England for the nightcapper on Sunday. Buccaneers, watch this, kind of trending down. Secondary's hurt. They've been beat by the Rams. I think they go into New England and kill New England. I think New England's trending down. Belichick has another bad football team again. And then on Monday night, the Raiders versus the Chargers. That'll be a great football game, by the way. A great football game. How about John Gruden at undefeated 3-0? Good for him, man. Good for him. Right? Good for him. I still can't get over this Bears story. I mean, I agree with you, Chris. I think they're in Arlington Heights, Arlington Racetrack. I think it is. You could always flip that thing into a practice facility or what have you. You could move your entire operation there. And you could do marvelous things. It's a great piece of parcel. It is. And what a great leverage piece against the city. Fine. You don't want us in Chicago? We'll go out to the burbs. All right. More on Brady and Belichick. So much news going on. We'll reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show.